crazy ones, and welcome to today's math lesson. Now we're going to start with a little bit of revision of what we've done before, and then we're going to learn something new. Now my first question is one that I asked yesterday. What is capacity? When I ask you what the capacity of this container is, what am I talking about? Very good, you remembered. Capacity is the amount of liquid a container can hold. Excellent. Today, we're going to be thinking about volume. Do you know what volume is? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Well, volume is how much liquid is inside a container. This bottle has a capacity of 1 litre, but the bottle isn't full. The volume is how much water is in the bottle. This bottle has a capacity of 1 litre because that's how much water it can hold. The volume is how much water is actually there. So, let's take a look at our learning sentences for today. 1. I can compare and order objects according to their volume. And I can record volume using greater than, less than, and equals. So, what are you going to need for today's lesson? Well, today you will need, just like we did yesterday and the day before, a measuring jug marked out in divisions of 100 millilitres. You will need a 1 litre bottle of water. You'll need 4 containers of about the same size. Now I use glass jars, but you don't have to. Use any container you like as long as they're about the same size. And you will need your whiteboard and your whiteboard marker. All right, pause the video. Come back again when you're ready. See you in a minute. So, today we're talking about the difference between capacity and volume. Now, we agree that the capacity of this bottle is 1 litre. But what do you think the volume of it is? Now, I can see that the bottle is about half full. So there's about half a litre of water in this bottle. So how many millilitres would that be? Do you remember? We did a lot of this yesterday. How many millilitres is half a litre? Good! Good, a lot of you remembered. There's about 500 millilitres of water in this bottle. Well done. All right. Do you have your stuff? Now, you can choose to do the activity with me, or you can choose to watch what I do and then do the activity at your own pace at home. Are you ready? Now, I have written 4 amounts on my whiteboard. 100 millilitres, 500 millilitres, 400 millilitres, and 300 millilitres. Now, what I'm going to do is measure out each of these amounts and pour them into the 4 containers. All right? So if you're doing it with me, get your first container, your bottle of water, and your measuring jug. We're first going to measure out 100 millilitres. Here we go. 100 milliliters poured into my first container. Now we're going to measure out 500 milliliters. All right? That filled it up to the very top. The capacity of this jar must be 500 milliliters. Now we're going to measure out 400 milliliters. So get your measuring jar and your bottle. There we go. That's very close to the top. And finally, we're going to measure out 300 milliliters. I have my jug. I have my water. So now, my 4 jars have different volumes of water in them. Did you do it with me? How does it look? Fabulous, right? Who can remember what these symbols mean? Very good. This one means greater than. This one means less than. Now, since we're talking about volume, that means that the volume of the container on this side will be greater than the volume of the container on this side. And the volume of the container on this side will be less than the volume of the container on this side. Now, who can remember what this one means? Very good. We've talked about it so many times. This sign means the same as. That means the volume of the container on this side will be the same as the volume of the container on this side. So, we're going to be using these symbols for our next activity. For our next activity, we're going to be using the containers that we poured water into to help us make some number sentences. Here we have the greater than sign. So, I need to place one of the jars on this side and one of the jars on this side. So, let me see. This is the jar with 500 milliliters in it. If I put that one on that side, and I put the jar with 100 milliliters of water on that side, the number sentence I've made is 500 milliliters is greater than 100 milliliters. I think that's about right. Now I have the less than sign. So, I need to put a jar on this side whose volume is less than the jar on this side. This is the jar with 300 milliliters of water in it. I'm putting it on that side. Now I have the jar with 400 milliliters of water in it. So the number sentence I've made is 300 milliliters is less than 400 milliliters. I think that's about right as well. Now, what about if I put the equal sign in the middle? Now remember, equals means the same as. So, I'm going to have to count 2 jars together for this one. If I put the jar with 400 milliliters on that side, which 2 jars do I have to put on this side in order to make them the same? What? The 100? All right, I'll start with that one. So what's the next one I need? The 500? Okay, that's wrong. I get it. Okay, so which one do I need? The 300. There we go. That makes sense. 400 milliliters equals 100 plus 300. Well done. I'm very, very proud of you. Okay, everybody. Now, we've been talking about capacity and volume. Now, do you remember what capacity is? Very good. Capacity is how much liquid a container can hold. This jar has a capacity of 500 milliliters because that's all the water that can fit in it. What is volume? Good. It's a brand new word, but we've learned it very well. This jar has a volume of 100 milliliters because that's all the water that's in the jar right now. I am so proud of how hard you guys have been working. Now, we don't have a math lesson tomorrow because it's a holiday, but I hope to see you all very, very soon. I miss you heaps, tons, and loads. Take care, stay safe, and be healthy. Bye.